and today I am going to talk about why fandoms have ruined my life. This has been something that's probably been relevant since I was like 10, but I realised it really heavily the other day. Let me set the scene for you. There I was, walking along. I was in the park. I was with a friend. We were going for a walk. It was nice. It was a nice day. And while we were walking along and taking a stroll, we saw some ducks. I like ducks. Ducks are pretty cool. My first thought, however, was, yeah, well, Herondale hates those. Well, it's not real. And then I realised this is a recurring theme, and when talking to multiple friends of mine, they've noticed I do it a lot. And yes, just to clarify, I don't think that these people are actually real. I don't walk around thinking that Will is real and that he existed and that he was an actual person set in that time that did the things he did, and I don't think that shadow hunters are real, no matter how much I wish. But sometimes I just kind of forget, and I really love these characters, so I get so wound up in their lives and so addicted to them and I care so much about them that it's really hard to just remember that actually these are 2D people. Especially when it's a character that's written so fantastically well and does feel like someone that you could relate to and that does exist, and especially when it's urban fantasy as well, so it is set in our time, or it's set in a time that was similar to ours. But I've really noticed this about myself recently when I've had fandomish and fangirly and bookish conversations, and I just can't help it. I really hope that I'm not the only person that does this, but I do it a lot. For example, I treat the Battle of Hogwarts like an actual thing, and it's on Twitter and people say it's been so many years since the Battle of Hogwarts, and I know that quite a lot of people are joking and it is just a big thing and that we celebrate something that was such a big part of our culture like Harry Potter was, because it was my childhood and it was so many other people's childhood too, and I just sort of don't think it's in our reality, and I don't think it's real in our reality, but I kind of see it as being a thing that did happen somewhere. Does that make sense? I sound so weird. Sometimes I also find myself wondering, I wonder what they did in between something. I want to know what characters do in between books, what they do in between chapters since the last time we saw them. It's the same reason that I want to know what Magnus and Alec did on their travels, and why, before we got given the story, what they did on their first date and how they got together. I just want to know they're doing good. Even though they're not real, I want to know they're doing good and they're doing well, and I want to know what happens next with their lives. And it's weird because they're not real. They're just not real. I have much more important and real issues and problems to sort through. That's not, I wonder what Harry and Ginny are doing today. But it's also the question of, why do we get so emotionally invested? We know these characters aren't real. They're just characters from books or movies, but what is it about these kinds of things that gets us so invested and infatuated with these characters? Why do we want to know so much? I see it as a form of escapism, and you forget about what you're doing in your real life to wonder what these other characters are doing and to think about what they're doing with their lives and their experiences, because it kind of diverts you away from your own. And I definitely think that that's why I do it and why I get so invested. When I get home and I've had a really busy day and I've had a lot to do, it's really nice to sit down and just put myself in someone else's world, and especially when it's a world like J.K. Rowling's or Cassandra Clare's, where it's such a big diverse world that it really does feel like you're a part of it and that it must exist somewhere and in some form, even if it is just in your head and in a book. And they can't tell us the whole story. There are gaps in stories and we want to know why, and we want to fill it in for themselves, and we want to know that these characters are all doing good. I think it's also why we have headcanons for things and theories for things, because we feel like we know these characters and they know us, and that we have this connection with them because we've learnt so much about them and we've spent so much time within their lives. I read a review from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and no spoilers, I promise, but someone said that Harry said something, and my first thought was, Harry wouldn't say that. But I don't know him. He's not real. He's not someone that I would know or that I know well, and if J.K. Rowling says he says something, she's the one that's gonna know. I just think it's really interesting. We have these opinions and these thoughts, and it's also kind of cool how we build these connections with these characters and how they can impact and influence our lives even though they're not real. And don't get me wrong, even though my friend thought I was really weird for saying Will Herondale, the fictional character from the late 1800s, doesn't like ducks, I think it's really cool to have literature and to have so many cool things influence us and be a part of our lives and feel like it is making us a part of something, and that something that someone has created is such a big part of our lives and makes us think things and have these connections and lead to lots of cool things, and I think it's really good. So yeah, every time I see a duck, well, Herondale doesn't like them. Doesn't like ducks. I really hope this video made sense. It was something I was thinking of after the duck situation, because then I couldn't stop and I was thinking about all the things I say and do and how I get really mad at J.K. Rowling for the people she killed even though they didn't exist in the first place. Yeah. Let me know if this made sense, if you do the same thing, if this is something that you can relate to, or if I am just really weird. If you are new here, I make bookish videos a couple of times a week, so if you want to stick around and subscribe, then you can do that. It's just down there. And as usual, all of my links will be in the description if you want to come hang out with me on other social medias. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're doing really, really well, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!